Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today I'm going to make a video about collections. Basically, I was making my video about the Sorter Vendor and came to realize that maybe some of the newer players don't really know about collections, how collections work, and what collections are used for. So I thought, and also I came to realize also that I never made a video about collections specifically. So today's the day. We're going to make a quick video about collections. So how do you get collections in DC Universe Online? There's two options really. Either you purchase them from the broker, or you farm and farm and farm to gather those collections. At first, you will find a lot of those collections at random in Gotham or Metropolis as you play missions. But there's items that you can use in order to be able to farm for those collections. There is something known as the radar enhancer. The radar enhancer will reveal on the minimap investigations, briefings, and collections, but today what we're interested in is collections. You do get a few, I think you get a couple of radar enhancers as you level up your character, but you can also purchase some on the marketplace. And also you do get some from opening time capsules. So you can see I got a whole bunch of them by opening time capsules as time went by, and I pretty much never use them, so I do accumulate them sadly. So let's use one radar enhancer just to show you how it works and also to show you the collections. So if you look at the minimap, to the corner of the minimap you can see like a little magnifying glass that appeared. So that indicates that the radar enhancer is activated. So basically once you activate your radar enhancer, pretty simple, you just fly around and you look for question marks on the minimap. So all those question marks will be collections. Also, another hint you get from when you gather collections is the noise. Like you can hear the collection actually makes some noise. So if somehow you don't see it, it's hidden behind a wall or a rock or behind pipes like here, you will at least hear it, so you will know that there is a collection nearby. One trick I used to use, I used to turn off the music from the game, so that I could listen for those collections. So that's another trick you can find. So basically, it's pretty much that simple. You fly and fly and fly around, and gather collections. There are some collections that are more valuable than others. So there's a few areas you might want to go, like around Ace Chemicals maybe, or around on Arkham Island or on Striker Island maybe. You might get a few, let's say, more valuable collections. And sometimes it can happen that you fly and fly and fly around and there's no collections at all, like it's happening right now. Could be a few reasons. Collection spawns at random, so sometimes it can take a while before collections actually appears. Also, it could be that other players are also farming for collections. Sometimes you will be competing against other players to gather collections. Basically, personally, I find it very relaxing to just fly around DC Universe Online. So that's usually what I do when I want to farm for collections. I relax, fly around, and gather whatever collections I can find. I don't usually use radar enhancers, which is why, as you saw, I pretty much accumulate them as time goes by. But basically, all you really need to do to gather collections, just fly around, listen. If you listen for collections, usually you will hear some. So you can find collections by just listening for them. But again, as I mentioned, you can also find collections just using the radar enhancer. You decide. After a while, especially if you farm for collections in the same area, you will pretty much know where the collections actually spawns. So after a while, you won't really need the radar enhancer to look for collections, unless maybe if you're looking for a very specific collection, or if you want to speed up the process a little bit. And the radar enhancer lasts for 15 minutes. So usually I would suggest go somewhere where enemies will not attack you. Like there's areas where you have a whole bunch of of enemies that will attack heroes or villains. So if you're an evil villain, you may decide to go in an area where enemies only attack heroes, so that you don't waste some of your 15 minutes fighting enemies. And the same for heroes. Heroes might decide to go in an area where NPCs only attack villains. So there's a few tricks like that that you'll learn to maximize your collection gathering. Because basically, if you have 15 minutes to farm for collections, then you don't want to waste some of that time fighting NPCs. So you're going to want to go in an area where NPCs will not really attack you, unless if you're a very high level player, then it won't really matter. It'll take you like half a second to defeat the evil NPCs that are trying to slow you down. So basically you just fly and fly and fly around and look for those little question marks on the minimap. Also the radar will reveal, as I mentioned, briefings and investigations. So right now not really an issue because with this character I pretty much have them all. But if you have a new character, then you will see a whole bunch of stuff other than just collections. Normally I would stick to one small area and look for collections there, but today, well, let's just fly around and gather whatever collections we find. Obviously, some of the more common collections that have been in the game since day one are not really worth that much on the broker. But if you're lucky, you could get some of the more rare collections. Sadly, you don't decide. It's random, so you don't decide if you get the rare collections or not. All you can do is farm and farm and farm, and hope you get the rare collections you're looking for. You can get collections by just buying them from the broker. And of course, the collections you gather that you don't need, you can also sell those on the broker. So basically there is a whole bunch of collections. There's one section that's only called collections. There's all the collections you can get in Gotham, all the collections you can get in Metropolis, and there's something called global collections, collections you could get all over the place. And there's event-specific collections, like collections for the Halloween seasonal, collections for the summer seasonal, and stuff like that. And basically what those collections give you, any collections, what they'll give you is that sometimes they give you styles, sometimes they give you items for your base, sometimes they'll just give you marks of victory. Like if we look at this, some of the more recent collections, like you have the Rain It In collection that gives you like the little seahorse trinket. There's the Find Fisherman collection that gave you the commander's hooked hand. And there's a few areas you can see that I'm still trying to gather, like Deceptive Device will give some material. Under the Sea will give some movement mode. And you can see some like the journey only gives you like a handful of marks of victory. For the marks of victory, unless you're a completist or unless you really need marks of victory, it's usually not really worth it. So you can see a lot of very common collection will be very cheap on the broker. But some of the rare collections can be very expensive on the broker. And also, sometimes people ask me, what is the best way to make money in this universe online? Selling collections is pretty much the best way. The reason why I suggest selling collections, it's pretty simple. You can farm and farm and farm for collections to infinity as long as you like. As opposed to, you could make money selling rare items. Like you could try to farm for, let's say, the Ultraman Cape, but the odds of getting those rare items are very rare. So odds are you're gonna have to farm and farm and farm those missions over and over and over again. And if you're not really lucky, you won't get the rare item that you want to sell on the broker. As opposed to collections, all you need to do is farm and farm. Even if you're not lucky and if you don't get the rare collections that you're looking for to sell on the broker, you're still going to be making money because you're going to be selling hundreds of collections. Basically, you're going to be gathering hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of collections and selling those on the broker. So even if you don't get the one uber rare collections that's very expensive, you're going to sell so many collections, even at a lower price, that those collections will make you a bunch of money. It will add up basically, and that will give you a lot of money. Like again, often people ask, how can you make money in this universe online? Very simple. You sell collections and you have to sell a lot of them. You sell hundreds of them. Obviously, I barely have like 1 million, a little more than 1 million right now. The reason for that is very simple. I spend as quickly as I get it. Basically, there's still a whole bunch of collections that I need to purchase. So whenever I manage to gather a few millions, I spend them right away to get the collections I need, or to get items I need or styles I need from the broker. So sadly, I'm pretty broke right now because I spend my money as quickly as I earn it. So basically, that is how I was able to get some of the rare styles that I have, by farming and farming and farming for collections, and then buying those styles from the broker. Like the Ultraman Cape, I bought from the broker. The Kryptonite Aura, I bought from the broker. And the best way to be able to get money to purchase those items from the broker is by farming for hundreds of collections and selling those on the broker. If you're lucky, you will get a rare collection that you can sell for 5, 10, 20 millions on the broker. But sadly, odds are you're going to sell a lot of collections for 100,000, 200,000, even 10,000. But after selling hundreds of them, it does add up, and that's how you can make a lot of money in this universe online. Basically, that's how I purchased the Kryptonite Aura, or even the Ultraman Cape. The Ultraman Cape was pretty pricey. I had to spend like 100 millions just for that one cape. And the way I did that, I farmed and farmed and farmed for collections until I got enough money to be able to buy it straight from the broker. So right now the Ultra Kryptonian Cape is worth about 58 million. But way back when it was a brand new item, the asking price was roughly 100 millions. And the same for some of the rare base items that I have. I had to farm and farm and farm for lots of collections in order to be able to get the millions to purchase those base items. So that's how I was able to get some of the rare Green Lantern base items, not only from my Green Lantern base, but from my League Haul as well. Like a lot of farming was involved in order to be able to get the millions and millions needed to purchase those base items. So that is pretty much it for our little collection video for this Universe Online. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. So as always guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.